good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you. The good people of Tube. Hope you're today, hope you're feeling grand and always well in your world. Hello there. Don't know what that weird face shake thing was, or the creepy smile afterwards, but hey, it happened, and we've got to roll with it. You've got to take your time, you've got to say what you say, don't let anybody get in your way. This is all too much for me to say. Anyway, moving along. Welcome to the Q&A Wednesday, everybody. Could maybe be the last Q&A Wednesday for a while. After these 7 questions I have today, I have no more questions in my inbox. For the first time since I started this Q&A, I've got nothing in my inbox after these 7 questions. It's a little bit weird. Anyway, yes, so let's dive into Q&A Wednesday, everybody. Could be the last one for a while, which is a bit funny. Feels a bit weird. Anyway, we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Okay, so let's dive in. So, question 1 today, really. Question 1 is this. Okay. Again, I wonder what you all think I'm going to say to this. But question 1 is, would you recommend a Boss Katana 50 or a Marshall MG50 to get the John Frusciante tone? And would a Squier strap be enough to replicate John's tone? Yeah, Squier strap will do a pretty good job of replicating John's tone. Some Squiers are quite bright and tinny, but you can edit that out with an amplifier, you know, as long as the amp's not really fizzy. You can normally get rid of the high end of the Squier. So yeah, Squier strap will be enough to replicate John's tone, definitely. Out of the amp recommending, would I recommend Boss Katana 50 or the MG50? I would recommend the Boss Katana 50 because I have found, being a massive MG nut, the MG50 is the weak link in all of them. The clean channel is okay. The clean channel is good, but the drive channel on the MG50 is just not very good. It's just dead weak, and that's the channel you want to be using to replicate John's tone. It's just not quite there. So I would recommend the MG50. I would recommend the Katana 50. And I've got hiccups because this is what happens when you down like half a mug of tea before you do a video. Well done, Dave. Anyway, yeah, I would definitely recommend Boss Katana 50 over the MG50. Like I say, the MG50 is okay, but it's not brilliant. It's nothing compared to the Katana. And I did own an MG50, but it was definitely the weak link. Out of the entire range of MG amps, the MG50 is the weak link in my opinion. It just doesn't quite cut it compared to its 100 watt brothers, or even the 30 watt, and even the little 10 watt, or is it 12 watt? 15, the MG15, doy. I'm getting confused with the orange, which has got the CR12, which is again an awesome amp as well. But anyway, yes, I would recommend the Katana. It's just a stronger amp. You will be able to kind of like dial out some of the brightness that your Squier might or might not have. You know, it depends on the Squier. I've had some Squiers that are just awesome. You know, they're just across the board. It's just dead even. The pickups are just really even sounding. But I've also had some Squiers that are just like fizzy and thin, and the pickups are just naff. But depending on what it is, like I say, you can edit that out with an EQ on an amp. Just don't go near the treble dial, basically. And you can do that with Katana really easily. The Katana 50, because it's got a preset presence at 50, at like half, don't touch the treble. Leave the treble off to get John's tone. And for the tone, what you want to be doing is you want to be going to the brown sound, turn the gain all the way down, volume all the way up, and bass about a half, and then mid and treble on 0. But that could be like a jumping off point for you. I'm not going to say that's going to be like, you know, you're going to dial it in and it's going to be there. But that should be a pretty good jumping off point. But if it's too dark, lower the bass first and see if that brightens it up a bit. And then if that isn't working, put the bass back at half and gradually roll in the mids. Don't touch the treble. So just to recap, because I would highly recommend the Katana 50 over everything. It's over there. You can see the corner of it just slightly. But the Katana 50 is like, it's just gorgeous. The Katana 100 is gorgeous as well. Any of the Katana series are just ridiculously, scarily good. But and over the MG50, they just reign supreme. MG 100, if you had said Katana 50 or MG 100, I would probably I'd probably steer myself more towards the MG 100. But when it comes down to 50 watt, amps that are really, really awesome for that broken up, cleanish tone of John's, the Katana is amazing. The Champion 50 is okay, but again, I wouldn't really recommend a Fender for it. You can do it, but it's not as good as the Katana. So, and like I said, just to recap again, if you do get the Katana 50, you'll be using the Brown sound, roll the gain all the way down, turn the gain all the way down, volume all the way up. You want bass around half, and middle and treble at 0. And then if it's too dark or too bassy, lower the bass, see if it brightens it up and cuts the bass. And if that still isn't quite doing it, boost your mids. Don't touch the treble. Leave the treble dial alone, because it'll just add harshness, and you don't want that. You'll add cut in the wrong place, basically. You want to use the mids to add the cut. Okay, so yes. What in good gravy is that? That sounded like someone was like just drilling it. You know when you like drill like a screw into a bit of wood and it just keeps going, and yeah, the drill's like, I can't actually drill it in any further, and it starts going. That's what the sound. That's a weird sound. Anyway, digression. Ha! That's what we're here for, isn't it? No, it's not. What are we here for? We're here to answer questions, Dave. Really? Oh yes, we are. Okay. And breathe. Okay, so yeah, Boss Katana 50 and Squier Strat, you'll be able to get really, really close to Johnstone. We can never get 100%, but we can get really damn close if we try. Okay, so yeah, moving along. So hope that's answered your question. Moving on to question 2 now. Okay, so question 2. I had 2 people ask me the same question, and I do want to do a video on this in depth, but I will quickly touch on it now. So there's a couple of questions to question 2, and the last one is the question that 2 people asked. But somebody asked, what looper do you use in your intro jams? I mainly use the TC Electronics Ditto looper, what is it, the X2. Hang on a minute. This one. That is the looper I use pretty much 95-99% of the time. So and I love this. This was a gift from my my awesome friend Richard. So thank you, Richard, if you're watching. I still love this pedal, and I remember I was around at his house and he goes, "I've got something I think you'll like and you can have fun with," and he just gave me this, and I was like. And like I say, since I got it, I've used it in pretty much every video I've done because I just love it. I love how long it's got to loop. I love it's got half speed and reverse effects in it. I just love it. I love this pedal. It's the best looper pedal in the world, I think. This one is, and if this one ever broke, I would buy another one. I wouldn't look for anything else. I would just buy another X2 because I absolutely adore this looper. It's absolutely stunning. And it's dead simple as well, and I like how simple it is. And you can run it in stereo, you can store loops in it. It's just immense, absolutely immense. This is an absolute monster of a pedal. I love this. So the main pedal I use for looping is my Ditto looper. Like I say, thank you, Richard. Other than that, I use today's intro jam, because I was going through the Fender and it doesn't have an effects loop. Because I always run loopers through an effects loop. If I'm not running through an effects loop, if I'm running through the front end, I can use the Ditto through the front end as well, but and it's still as good. But today I was using my Line 6 DL4 delay modeler looper. The DL4 has got an inbuilt looper of 14 to 24 seconds, depending on how you set it. And I used that for today's intro jam. So the intro. And it was all into a front end today, and I'll get to more of that in a sec, because that falls on something I want to talk about at the end of this question. But yeah, so and that one gets used. I use the Line 6 if I'm not using an effects loop. If I'm going to the front end, I use the Line 6 just because it's set up that way. If I'm using an effects loop, I use the Ditto just because it's set up that way. But you can use the Ditto through the front end, and you can use both through effects loop. It doesn't really matter. But I do prefer to run loopers through the effects loop. But I'm not bothered about running it through the front end, as I will get to that. That's the question at the end. Anyway, so yeah, that's the loopers I use. They're the Ditto Looper X2 and the Line 6 Delay Modeler looper. They're the main kind of things I use. Okay, so you also asked, what is your main lead tone in your videos? Whatever I feel like. I mean, I've got 3 gain pedals. I've got the Marshall Governor 2 Plus, which is my favourite distortion pedal of all time. I've got the Tone City Golden Plexi, and I have the tried and true and trusted and gorgeous Boss DS2. So I've got those 3 pedals. The Golden Plexi, as you all probably know by now, is set up for that kind of like, cleanish sound. It's my John Frusciante pedal, basically. That's my John Frusciante tone. And if I don't have the Golden Plexi, I have the jackhammer, the Marshall jackhammer. So that's not really a lead tone. That's more of my kind of like clean tone. So, and I can combine things with that. But I don't go by, I don't have one set thing. I just kind of like pick and choose. Like today's intro jam, I started off with just the Governor on its own. It's not, I wasn't using the Golden Plexi or the DS2. I actually had planned to not touch the DS2 or the wah pedal in the intro jam, but that didn't happen because I felt like I wanted the guitar to sing, and the DS2 makes that happen. The DS2 makes things sing, especially when you combine it with the Governor. So I don't have a set lead tone. It's just whatever I feel like at the time. Sometimes I'll just kick on the Golden Plexi and the DS2. Sometimes I'll have the Golden Plexi and the Governor. Sometimes I'll have the Governor and the DS2. I never have the DS2 on its own because I find it's dead nasty and harsh, especially the way I set it. But which we'll get to in a sec. But I don't really have a set lead tone. It's just whatever I feel like at the time. If I just want to put the DS2 on, I put it on. Like I say, I always run another pedal with the DS2. Like I say, I never run the DS2 solo, so to say, unless my amp's kind of semi-overdriven. But the Governor, the Golden Plexi over the DS2, it's just how I feel. There is no, I don't have anything set in stone. Nothing's set in stone. It's like, if I just play I play with how I feel. If I wanted to just go into absolute like ridiculously singy territory, I feel that's where I want to go with it. I always kick on the DS2 for more, immense sustain. If I want more cut, I'll invariably run the DS2. If I want more kind of cut in the solo, I invariably just run the Governor and the Tone City, because it's really that cuts through a mix really nicely. But yeah, I mean, it varies. I haven't got a set kind of like, that's my lead tone. It just, it's whatever I feel like. I've got 3 pedals and I turn them on when I feel like I want them on, kind of thing. That's about as far as it goes for me. I don't actually plan anything out. How rude. Back in a sec, everybody. Hello again, everybody. Sorry about that. It was just I was getting contacted about a possible gig, so yay! Phone is on silent now, and there will be no more interruptions. So yes. As far as main lead tone goes, it's just however I feel in that point in time. It's nothing set in stone. I don't have like for this solo I will do this, for this solo I'll do this. It's whatever. Whatever I feel like really at the time. So that's it. You also asked what are your settings and what is your pedal order. Okay, so settings are a bit complex, and I think I've gone. I think I do have a video on my my live setup where I talk about that. So I don't really want to talk about settings because it'll just take up way too much time because I've got so many settings. It's a bit crazy. But my pedal order is from the guitar. It comes into the Boss DS2. So guitar, Boss DS2. Then it goes to an Ibanez wah. Then it goes to the Golden Plexi. Then it goes to the Governor. Then it goes to the Line 6 delay modeler, then it goes to my Zoom G2, and then it goes to the amp, whatever the amp is at the time. So just to recap, guitar, DS2, Ibanez wah, Golden Plexi, Marshall Governor, Line 6 delay, Zoom G2, and then out to the amp. So that's my order. Settings wise, the Ibanez wah is always on full whack. The DS2 is set to the turbo mode with everything on 10. The Golden Plexi, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm doing it, aren't I? The Golden Plexi is set with volume at half, tone is all the way off, and the gain is at about 7 o'clock. The Governor's set with gain all the way up, bass all the way down, deep all the way up, treble all the way down. Middle is about 10 o'clock, and the volume is at 3 o'clock, so it's kind of like 3/4. I have 3 different delays that I have no idea what the settings are for anymore in the Line 6, and then I've got my Zoom G2 0.1U that's giving me reverb, and is it giving me compression? Yeah. a little bit of compression, but that's about it, and a little bit of EQ, but that's about it. And I don't really want to dive into that. I think I've got a video on the Zoom GT where I talk about what that is. But and it's out to the app. So that's what that is. So and then you also said when you do loops, you can't hear, like, you know, you'll kick on like a wah pedal or distortion pedal, and the loop disappears. And somebody else asked this same question, like, you know, when I do a loop, like, you know, when I kick on a distortion or something, the loop disappears, and that'll happen if you're running it into the front end and your distortion pedal is louder than the loop. So what I do, like I said, I'm only going to touch on this now because I want to do a video on this, is I just lower the volume on the distortion pedal so it lowers it. So for today, for instance, like the intro jam today, I ran the governor at 9 o'clock. The volume was at 9 o'clock, which is very, very quiet, but it fit with the loop. So the entire intro jam today was run through the front end of the amp, no effects loop, and I just basically just turned the governor down. And because of where the governor is, it regulates volume. So yeah, that's it. But like I said, I don't want to delve too much into that, as I want to do a video on that, all in kind of one thing of how I run things into the front end when I'm looping and stuff like that. It's very simple. You just got to watch your levels. But I want to do a video on that at some point. So yes. So I'll get back. I will come back to that in a video on its own very, very soon. I promise you. So, but if you can, if your amp's got an effects loop, run your looper through an effects loop only. Don't run it through the front end if you can help it. Because I don't like effects loops. I'm not an effects loop fan. But running a looper for an effects loop just makes it so much better. It just makes it so much cleaner and nicer and smoother around the edges. Running through the front end can be done. I did it for years and there's nothing wrong with that at all, and it works. As long as you get your levels right, everything's fine. But running a looper through the effects loop I would definitely recommend it over the front end. The front end is fine and you can get away with it, but if you can run it through the effects loop, then I would do that. Because nothing gets in the way then. You've got a bit more control over your loop. Okay, so I hope that's such a question. I'm going to move on to question 3 now. Like I said, I will come back to that at a later date in a proper video. So a video on its own, so to say. Okay, so question 3. Somebody said, I like that you can play in a wide range of styles. Have you got any tips for me as I am just getting back into playing? The only tips I have for anybody when it comes down to playing guitar is always just play what you want. You know, don't. So if somebody says, right, you've got to learn, you know, sweep picking on arpeggiated riffs and all this kind of thing. If you don't want to learn it, don't learn it. Learn what you want. That's what I would always say to everybody. Don't go out your way to learn things that you don't want to learn just because, you know, it might impress somebody or this, that, and the other. You know, learn what you want to learn because you want to learn it. You know, if you just want to play Green Day stuff, but somebody says, well, that's a bit basic. That's really, it's really easy. You need to learn this, that, and the other. You know, go away, person. You're not helpful. Just learn Green Day stuff. Just play power chords. You know, in fact, if you want to learn the Clash, you know, just learn the Clash. You know, don't learn anything you don't want to learn. That's what I would say. Definitely is like just because the moment you dive into something you don't want to learn and you're not invested in that, you know, you're not going to enjoy it as much as you would where. If you were learning something you wanted to learn. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But if you're learning stuff you really love, like, you know, like I say, if you really love Green Day stuff and you're learning like Dookie, front to back, then you're going to be really invested in that. But if somebody come along and say, right, you got to learn Sweet Child of Mine because you're not going to progress, but you don't want to learn Sweet Child of Mine, then, you know, your heart's not going to be in it. Yeah, you might get a bit more dexterity out your fingers, but if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's not important, you know, to impress people. It's important to kind of make yourself happy. You've got to be happy. And if you play and you're happy and what you're playing is making you happy, other people will be happy as well with what you're doing because they'll pick up on that. You know, if you're playing something you don't want to play and you're just kind of like, don't want to do this, people will pick up on that. Because there's been many, many times in the past I've been in bands with people, and I've even done it myself, where you're playing stuff and you're like, I don't want to do this. And people pick up on it, and people say, why are you so moody? It's like, well, you know, it's because I don't want to do it. You know, if your heart's not in it, you shouldn't be doing it. So, just getting back into guitar, just learn what you want to learn. You know, whether it be whatever it is, you know what I mean? Just focus on what you want to do. You are important, not what, you know, the shredder down the street or the, you know, the ska band down the road says you should be learning. You know, whatever. I don't know where that came from, but yeah, whatever. You know, learn what you want to learn. You know, don't listen to anybody else when they say, oh, you've got to do this and you've got to do that. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. There are no rules. You don't have to learn things just because it's, you know, oh, well, it's actually written in the you know, this, that, and the other. It's not written down anywhere. You know, you learn what you want to learn and you forget the rest. The rest is not important. As long as you're happy and you're, you know, you're progressing at your own kind of tempo and you're just happy with what you're doing and, you know, you just, yeah, happy. Yeah, I just keep going back to that. As long as you're happy and you're learning, and the concept of going away and going, oh, I can't wait to learn this song today, or I can't wait to learn that later on, or I can't wait to play my guitar later on and play this song, you know, that's what you want. You don't want to be going, oh, right, well, I'm going to have to spend an hour tonight learning theory and learning scales. It's like, nah, it's not important. You know, you don't need to know scales to know how to play solos. It's weird. But it's true, you know. Jimi Hendrix, I'm sure he didn't know a great deal of what he was doing, but, like, you know, he was doing some quite complex stuff. Same with people like Peter Green, and, you know, you get quite a lot of those guys from back then. They didn't really know. They weren't theory minded. They just played. They just played, and that was more important. And they played with feel instead of, because I feel. I mean, it's not true for everybody. This isn't, but it was for me. That I felt when I started to dive into theory, it was taking me down a road where I didn't like where I was going. I started to analyse what I was playing. Instead of just kind of going by how I felt, I started to go, well, this chord progression's this, and this, and I can use this mode, and I can use this scale. And instead of actually just like letting what will be and just playing and just enjoying it, you know, I was doing all this kind of nonsense, and it wasn't for me at all. If that's the way you want to go, that's cool. I'm not taking anything away from people who are theory minded, because, you know, that's cool. But for me, it didn't work, and it won't work for some people. You know, I'm not that I'm speaking for everybody, because I'm not. But for me, I didn't like the way theory took me, and once I'd learned all the theory I wanted to learn, I didn't bother with it anymore. I just went back to learning songs and solos and just trying to figure out John Frusciante's solos and really trying to understand, like, you know, how to make the guitar speak how I want it to speak. How, you know, what can I play on the guitar to dictate my feeling at this point in time? You know, how can I pick up a guitar, do a solo, and it say exactly how I feel? That's where I wanted to go, and it all came back to feel. It wasn't really theory based. So I say my advice for you is just learn what you want. Dive in and learn songs. Learning songs is key to anything on guitar. I would highly recommend learning songs over anything. Learning as many songs as you can is absolute key. Learning songs front to back, every part, solos and all, is really, really important if a song's got a solo. But yeah, just learn what you want to learn. Put your favourite album on and sit there and play along to it. You know, learn it front to back and play along to it. You know, and if you're short on time, play along to one song. You know, for 5 minutes. It's amazing what that 5 minutes can do if you're doing it every day for a month. It can really kick you along. But you've got to kind of like, you've got to be happy. You've got to want to do it. The moment that want isn't there anymore, you have to start looking around for why. Why am I not happy doing this? You know, what is it about this that's making me unhappy and not want to do it? So, like I say, do what you want. The guitar is yours. It's not somebody else's. Play what makes you happy. That's all that matters. Just be happy. You know, the moment you're not, like I say, you're going in the wrong direction. And I've been there. I've been there a few times where I'm like, this isn't for me. I'm not doing this. I remember having to learn 8-finger tapping. I remember having to learn sweep picking, which I used to be able to sweep pick. I can't anymore, and I don't really care. You know, I lost the ability to sweep pick, and that's fine by me. You know, and I used to be able to 8-finger tap and do all that kind of fancy la-di-da stuff. And I remember doing the Steve Vai hand capo stuff and stuff like that. And I used to be able to do all that, and I don't do it anymore because it's not what I wanted. I learnt it because I was being steered in that direction, but it wasn't where I wanted to be. Where I wanted to be was to let the guitar sing and really just kind of like emote, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to get whatever's inside me out through this. Not, hey, look at me guys, look what I can do. I can shred with and pep with 8 fingers. I don't really care about that. That's not important to me. If I can play one note in the right place that makes somebody go, whoa, like Jimi Hendrix does for me, or Dave Gilmour does for me, or John Frusciante does for me, then I feel like I'm on the right track. I'm nowhere near that yet, and I know I'm nowhere near that yet. But I'm trying to strive to that point where I just want to make... I want people to feel how I feel through the guitar, if you know what I mean. I really want... You know, that is my ultimate goal on the guitar, is to really emote through the guitar. Really kind of... every note I play has to mean something. Otherwise, it's not good enough for me. You know what I mean? I have to play... Every note I play has to mean something. It has to resonate with me at the right time. You know what I mean? It has to be. And the moment it doesn't, there are days where I just can't do it. You know, and that's fine. You know, that's going to happen. We're all going to have bad days and we're all going to have good days. And those bad days really affect me. They really get me down. And that's just the way that is. You know, you just have to accept the fact that some days... One day, you can be going, look at me, I can play Yngwie Malmsteen Far Beyond the Sun really well. And then the next day, you go to play it and you literally can't do it. I've been there as well. When I first started learning Yngwie stuff, one day I'd be able to do Far Beyond the Sun really easily. And then the next day, I would struggle. It's so weird. But, you know, it's, you know, you're off and on. You know, hot and cold and that lot, you know. It's just one of those things. But like I say, coming back to the thing, I would definitely recommend just learn what you want to learn. Learn your favourite songs. Learn your favourite artist songs. Learn your favourite solos. And just have fun. That is key to guitar, key to music. The moment it's not fun, the moment you need to find something, you know, you need to find something else in music. But you need to find out what it is about that music, that's got you down. You know, you really need to kind of like, something's taking you in a direction you don't want to go if you're unhappy. You know, and you will be able to feel it. It's like, I don't want to do this. Don't do it. It's not important. If you don't want to do it, it's not important to you. Focus on what you want to do, not what you think you should be doing or what somebody has told you to do. If you know what you want out of the guitar, go for that. And if it's going to make you happy, do that. If it's going to make you unhappy, don't do it. It's wrong for you. You know what I mean? If it has a negative effect on you, then it's wrong and you don't want to be doing it. So yeah, I would say I'd recommend jumping back in and learning your favourite songs and just having fun. It's the absolute key. If you're not having fun, then, you know, if it's just one of those days where you're just not having fun, you're not feeling it, put the guitar down and go do something else, you know, and just come back to it another day. Taking a break from the guitar is good. It really is. I mean, there are days where I will pick up the guitar and it's just not happening, and I just put it back down and I just go and do something else. You know, I'll go and figure something else out, or I'll still do something musical. Like I'll just go, okay, fine, I can't play it today, so I'll just spend the day just kind of like maintaining my guitars. I'll just go around all my guitars, make sure they're all in tune, make sure they're all kind of like, you know, clean, and you know they all work as they should, and make sure all my amps are clean and make sure they all work as they should. Instead of kind of like playing it, I'll just do some maintenance work on it and stuff like that, or if a guitar needs restringing or something like that. So yeah, just do things like that, and I really enjoy doing stuff. I love going around, like, you know, making sure all my guitars are okay and pedals are okay and stuff like that. And that will usually, invariably, bring me out of that kind of like stupor, and actually kind of like by the end of the day, I'll be playing and enjoying it again, because I'm no longer in that kind of downer, so to say. But the guitar can put you in. The guitar can put you in a downer. But it can also bring you out of it if you take a step back from it. So anyway, I am rambling, everybody. I am tangenting off, and that's okay. Okay, so anyway, moving along. But yeah, that's what I would recommend. You also asked, what are your thoughts on the vintage Les Paul Peter Green and the ESP LTD EC256? I'm not a big fan of ESP LTD guitars, so... I've never liked the feel of them. I've tried a lot of them, and I remember I really wanted an ESP at one point because I was massive into Kirk Hammett, and I went and tried it and I was like, no. And I tried a couple of ESPs and LTDs, and I've never got on with any of them. They just feel, I don't know, they just don't fit. They don't fit me, if that makes any sense. Much in the same way PRS don't. I've tried a bunch of PRS guitars, and I've never found one that just kind of goes, wow. You know what I mean? I've tried really, really ridiculously expensive ones. Being an old hat, I got to try some really expensive PRSs and some really kind of like, you know, budget PRSs. But none of them worked. PRS, it just didn't work for me. It's really strange. I would love to try the Silver Sky because it's more kind of traditional. But yeah, just they didn't work for me, and neither did the LTDs or the ESPs. I never really liked them. So, and the vintage LP, the vintage Peter Green, I would try before you buy, because I'm still hearing rumours that their quality control is... So, you know, if you can try before you buy and it's good and everything, the fit and finish is good and it's not going to, like, you know, it's not shoddy like some of the ones I've tried towards the end of last year were, then yeah, go for it. Because some of those, my Lemon Drop is gorgeous. I love it. I absolutely love it. Although it may have just been tipped by this thing, which you will see very soon. Yeah, it might have just been tipped off the top spot of Les Paul style guitars for me because of this thing came yesterday. Not yesterday, Monday. Yes, Monday. Ha! I had to think. But yeah, try before you buy. In all fairness, I will say that the Relic, the Peter Green Relic vintage, I don't think is particularly good. I've tried a few of them, and I never really liked it. Whereas the unreliced Lemon Drop, the one I've got, the gloss finish one that is unreliced, I thought was, well, still do think, is absolutely stunning. But like I say, with the rumours, well, not rumours, I've experienced it. With the quality control on vintage being a bit in this day and age, like I say, I've experienced it, and other people have experienced it as well. It's not the case for all of them. You know, but I have heard this and I have experienced this myself. I am edgy about recommending it because I don't want to recommend a guitar and it get to you and it be absolute pile. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. I'd rather, you know, this is why I say try before you buy. Don't buy it blind, just in case. You know, and that goes for kind of any guitar, really. You don't really want to be trying a guitar blind. You don't want to be buying a guitar blind. Trying before you buy will tell you if it works for you or if it doesn't work for you. So anyway, but yeah, if you can get the pristine Lemon Drop, yeah, I would recommend that. The Relic Lemon Drop is good, but I don't think it's as good as the unrelic Lemon Drop in my opinion, my little humble opinion of what it is. Well, for whatever it is. And like I say, the ESPs I'm not really a big fan of, so I can't really say. They're great guitars. They sound great. They look great, and their build quality is amazing. But I don't like the feel of ESP or LTD. They just don't feel right. You know, every time I've picked one up, I'm just like, this isn't working. It's like Ibanez as well. Some Ibanezes don't work for me. I've only played a handful of Ibanez guitars in my life that I've really gone, I love this one. So yeah, so be that for what it is. But out of those two, I'd go for the vintage LP. But like I say, try before you buy, just in case. Just in case. I would not want to hear back from you saying, like, you know, I bought it and it was terrible. You know, that'd break my heart. So try before you buy and make sure it's right for you. Again, coming back to that whole thing, you are important. If somebody says, you need this guitar, no, you don't. You need what you want, not what somebody recommends. So you need to go out and you need to try before you buy. And the right guitar will speak to you, and you will know it when it happens. Trust me, you will know it when it happens. So yeah. Out of those two, like I say, I will go for the vintage, but again, try before you buy. Really important. Okay, so yeah, hope that's answered your question. I'm going to move on to question 4 now. I'm going to have to crack on because I've got 7 questions. I've got another 4 to do, and I'm waffling, and that could be dangerous for time. Okay, so question 4. What is your accent and where are you from? Okay, some people have asked this, like, you know, before, like, you know, what's your accent? Where are you from? So I am from Lincolnshire in the UK, everybody. The Jolly Shire, as it's known. We all got very hairy feet and we live in underground houses with round doors. We're not hobbits. Or are we? I found a gold ring the other day and it started speaking to me, and when I put it on, it disappeared. Maybe I should go to Mordor. Anyway, But yeah, I've got the Golem hair. I mean, I'm getting there with the Golem hair, so you know, I suppose it kind of works. Anyway, but yeah, I'm from Lincolnshire in the UK. That's where that is my home, everybody. So yeah, that's my accent. You also said, are you from Cleethorpes, Grimsby area? Actually, yeah, that's about half an hour from where I live. So yeah, kind of. But people in Grimsby do speak slightly differently to me where I live. But yeah, Lincolnshire is where I am from, the Shire. So yeah, hope I've asked a question. A few people have asked that, so got around to it finally. So question 5, everybody. Question 5 is, do you think it's worth buying a Line 6 HX to use with a Boss Katana? And what about the Katana 100 and the 4 cable method? And are the Katana's onboard effects any good? And is it worth it? Is it worth it? Oh yes! What you described is my current setup. My current setup is the Boss Katana 50 or Katana 100 with the Line 6 HX and a Vox Wah-Wah. That's all I'm using. So yeah, highly recommend it. And the Katana's inbuilt effects are immense. I think they're brilliant. I love them. I use them on a regular basis. I have my Katana 100 set up downstairs as like my kind of like, you know, my just play around app if I just want to plug in something. And I use the effects and the reverbs on that all the time, like the delays and the auto wahs and the phases and all sorts. So yeah, I haven't tried the 4 cable method. It's a bit beyond me, so I can't really mention the 4 cable method. But you can't go wrong with a Katana 50 or a Katana 100 and the Line 6 HX. You really can't. It's just awesome. They just work together so well. Like I say, my entire live setup right now is the Boss Katana 100 or the 50, like I've already said. Why are you saying it again, Dave? You've already said it. But yeah, that's my current setup. So I would highly recommend it. It's amazing. It's so versatile as well. So yeah, highly recommend that. And it's definitely worth it. Yeah, for what it is. I mean, the HX is stunning. It's stunning, and the Katana is stunning as well. So yeah, definitely recommend it. Well, that was quick. Okay, so I hope that's the question. Moving on to question 6 now, everybody. Second to last question. Okay, so I've got to be careful of this one because I could waffle on, I could destroy time. But question 6 is, did you watch the Red Hot Chili Peppers gig at the Pyramids? If so, what were your thoughts? Yes, I did watch the gig at the Pyramids and I thoroughly enjoyed it, although they need to turn Josh up. You can never hear him. For like Can't Stop, he was there and he just disappeared. I'm pretty sure he didn't even play on Dark Necessities. It was just a bit... I will still stand by what I say though, Josh doesn't fit. I'm sorry, I know there's a lot of people out there who love Josh, and I love Josh as well, but he doesn't fit the Chili Peppers. I actually got bored of him in the gig. I actually got my little katana on my desk and I started playing along to the songs because I got bored of him. He's very, very... I don't know. I just didn't find it very inspiring. I thought they sounded great, and I thought the performance was really good. But I just feel Josh I do love his playing, but he just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit the Chili Peppers. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. You know, I'm not talking for everybody at all. I'm talking for me. And like I said, I got bored. I got bored of his playing. About halfway through, I just got my guitar and my little Boss Katana Mini and just started playing along. Because I got quite bored. And, you know, it just dragged for me eventually. I was just like, meh. Like that. It was a bit kind of like that. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And what a backdrop. And the stage and everything looked absolutely immense. Oh, what a gig. What a gig to play. Can you imagine the feeling to play that? It's just unreal. But I just felt like, you know, Josh wasn't loud enough. His guitar tone was... I don't think his guitar tone was particularly nice. He was playing wrong chords in songs as well. I was like, oh my god. Before the last chorus in Danny California, I have no idea what he was playing, but it was just not right. And then in the middle bit of Danny California, he wasn't playing the right chords in the Who Knew the Other Side of You bit. It was like, you're playing the wrong chords. You know the man who wrote it. How can you be playing the wrong chords? And there was a few bits where I was just like, you know, I was like, I don't know what's happening there, Josh, but that doesn't sound good. You know, and the use of delay and stuff like that. And I wanted them to do a jam at the end. After Give It Away, I wanted them to jam. And I got the impression Flea wanted to, and I got the impression Chad wanted to keep going, but they just stopped. And it seemed dead abrupt. It was all of a sudden like, oh, that's it. I was like, what? Surely you could do like, you know, a nice outro jam, and they just didn't. It's just didn't there. And it seemed throughout the entire gig, Flea wanted to jam and Chad wanted to jam between songs, and Josh just didn't, or he couldn't, or I don't know. You know what I mean? It seemed like Flea would start this awesome bass kind of stuff, and then Chad would join in on the drums, and Josh would either just kind of like not take part, or when he did take part, it was always kind of like, yeah, can we just do the next song? It felt funny. It felt funny to me. And like I said, I got quite bored of it eventually, and I just kind of like started playing along to myself. And I had some awesome jams with Flea and Chad. There was some bits where like Flea and Chad were playing, and I was like, yeah, I'm in the Chili Peppers at this point in time. And then they stopped, and I'm like, I'm not in the Chili Peppers anymore. And then I came back to reality and realised you're never going to be in Chili Peppers days, so get used to it. Anyway, I can dream and I can fantasize. Just close your eyes and just, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, but yeah, it did feel to me like, you know, Flea and Chad wanted to jam and Josh didn't want to, and it just felt a bit kind of like awkward in a way and a bit kind of like funny. But I reckon it was a really cool gig. But like I said, I did get a bit bored and have to start playing along, and I still stand by what I said. Josh doesn't fit. I'm sorry. I know people love Josh, and I do as well, but he doesn't fit the Chili Peppers in my opinion. I still don't think I reckon they could have found. There's got to be someone in that circle who can play in that style, and Josh can't play in that style. And you know, I'm sure they could have found somebody. Anyway, but I say I did enjoy the gig, but I just wish there was a bit. It seemed to be a bit of tension in the jams, like say, like Flea and Chad wanted to jam, and then Josh didn't, and then there was like at the end doing "Give It Away," like the outro of "Give It Away." It felt like Chad and Flea wanted to keep going, but Josh didn't, and he just stopped. It was just a bit weird. It just felt really disjointed. Nothing flowed. You know, Flea was constantly. It felt like Flea was constantly trying to get something going with Josh, and he was either reluctant to do it or just didn't want to do it. You know, and yeah, and I couldn't understand a word Josh was singing in his solo song. Before the encores, Josh did a song on piano. I didn't understand a word he was singing. I literally had no idea. It was a really cool song. I didn't even recognise the song. It sounded like a Radiohead song, but I don't know. I don't know what the song was. I couldn't recognise it at all. But I had no idea what he was singing. I like to be able to hear words. I like to be able to hear melodies. And the melodies he was singing was great. But yeah, like I say, I still stand by what I say. Josh doesn't fit the Chili Peppers. He just doesn't, in my opinion. I'm not bashing him. It's just one person's opinion. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. It shouldn't mean anything to anybody but me, really. You know what I mean? But I know quite a few people, you know, out there. You know, quite a few people out there. You feel the same way, but he doesn't fit, and that's cool. But I'm not gonna like force that on anybody. You know, for me, he doesn't fit, and that's, you know, it's just my opinion for what my opinion's worth. You know, in this day and age, so to say. So, but yeah, I did enjoy the gig. I got a bit bored. I just wish there was more jamming. I wish they kind of done something special at the end. It'd have been nice to have a massive outro jam, because, like, you know, when are they going to get to do that kind of thing again? And I feel Flea and Chad wanted to do it, but Josh didn't. And I thought it was a bit sad. It just felt like it was dead abrupt ending, and certain things were dead abrupt. And, like, you know, can we just get on with it and do it? It was like, you know, can we just get on with it? It's almost like we're kind of going through the motions almost sometimes. And it was like, I think Flea wanted to do more than you did. You know, Josh and stuff like that. Again, I'm only speaking from my own impressions. I'm probably totally wrong, and that's cool. But, you know, it's just my opinion and the way I felt the gig. But anyway, but yeah, people of the tube, if you watched the Chili Peppers gig at Giza Pyramids, what did you think? What were your opinions on it? Did you enjoy it? If you did, what was the highlight? If you didn't enjoy it, why didn't you enjoy it? What was it about it that you didn't like? Okay, so finally. So I have a question. Moving on to final question of the day. Question 7. What are your thoughts on Digital Fuzz? Fuzz from the Zoom G2.1U and the Line 6 HX. I love it. I do hear a difference, but I don't hear a massive difference. Like I say, my favourite fuzz pedal of all time is the Double Morph by Electro Harmonic, sorry. But I'm more than happy to use a Digital Fuzz from the Line. The Line 6 the HX has a gorgeous fuzz in it, as does the Zoom G2. I've always loved the Zoom G2's fuzz. It's a really Robert Fripp fuzz tone, especially when you're on a Les Paul. If you're on a Les Paul and you go to a neck pickup, the fuzz tone on the Zoom G2 Really sounds like Robert Fripp. It's got this really woolly, fuzzy, awesome sound, but really kind of thingy. So yeah, I mean, I don't really have a issue with it. Fuzz is fuzz, and I do enjoy. I love fuzz pedals, and you know, I know what I'm after in a fuzz pedal. So if it's not there, it's not there. But I can always find something in it, so to say. There's always something in everything. Like I always say, there's always something in everything you do. There's always going to be something you like. But yeah, I mean, I really like digital fuzz myself. I mean, I love analog fuzz and you know, silicon, germanium fuzz and stuff like that. But I do love digital fuzz as well. It's, you know, as long as it makes a noise, I'm happy. You know, I'm not particularly picky about, it has to be this and it has to have this and it has to have that. You know what I mean? I'm happy with, you know, I'm happy. You know, I'm a very kind of like, you know, I don't get het up on kind of like, you know, all this, it has to have this and it has to have that and it has to do this and, you know, it has to have these kind of like, these things in it. You know, I know what I want, and when it does it, I'm a happy bunny. If it doesn't do what I want, I know immediately, and I just won't do it. You know what I mean? So yeah, be that for what it is. I really like digital fuzz myself. People with a tube, do you like digital fuzz, or do you, you know, or does it feel funny to you? Like I said, I don't really go down that route. I'm very easy to please because I just enjoy making music. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, certain things will bring certain things out, and I don't get help on the technical side of things too much. You know what I mean? If something's good, it's good. You know what I mean? If something's bad, it's bad. That's how it works for me, really. But I just enjoy it. I love the journey I'm on. You know, and it just makes me happy. If it makes me happy, that's all that matters. Like I said earlier on, it's got to make you happy. If it makes you happy, that's all that matters. So yeah, if it sounds good, I'm happy. And I do love the fuzzes in the G2 and the HX. Anyway, yeah, I don't have any more to say on that. So, which is bizarre. I bet I could waffle, but I'm going to stop myself because I'm running low on time and battery. But yeah, digital fuzz is cool. As is analog, you know, is what it is. Just as long as it makes you happy and you can have fun with it, that's all that matters. You know, it really is all that matters. If it makes you excited about it, that's all that matters. Yeah, that's music. That's guitar playing. That's you know, if you're excited about it, you're on the right track. If you're not excited about it, you're on the wrong track. You know, and you need to figure out why, and you need to get back on. You know, how am I going to get back to the right way? What is it about X, Y, and Z that's making me unhappy? So anyway, be that for what it is. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, everybody. I hope I've answered your questions okay. I do have a fear that I've just totally ruined everybody's questions and not answered anything impossible. Haven't answered anything at all. But yeah, this is strange. There might not be a Q&A Wednesday next week. Bit weird. So I'm not used to looking at my inbox and not seeing loads of questions. It was strange today. By the way, I will say, some people have asked questions I haven't answered simply because I've already answered it. All these Q&As are in a playlist. So if I haven't answered if you sent a question in recently and I haven't answered it, it'll be because I've already answered it in a previous video. And I don't like to go over things over and over again. You know, if I've answered something one time, I will invariably just leave it at that. So yeah, if I haven't answered your question, I've probably already answered it. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, everybody. I hope I've answered your questions okay, and I will see you again on Friday for Fuzz Pedal Friday. I have a KGR Harmony fuzz pedal. I can't wait to show you because it's really good fun and it's dead gnarly and I love it. And I did the intro jam about 2 months ago, but I really love this pedal. It's a really awesome fuzz pedal. Talking about fuzz pedals, but yeah, you'll see that on Friday, everybody. It's just a really gnarly fuzz pedal and I really like this. It's a really cool pedal. So I'll see you on Friday for Fuzz Pedal Friday, everybody. And yeah, have a great one until then. Have a great morning, afternoon and a good evening. And you will see this guitar maybe next week. I don't know. I'm going to put it to a vote on YouTube. In the kind of like, you know, the community bit on YouTube, I'm going to put it to a vote because I've got 2 Revelation single courts like this to demo. And I don't know which one to do first, so I'll put that to a vote on over the weekend. So yeah. Anyway, Where are we? Yes, we're here. Haha. So yeah, I will see you again on Friday, everybody, for a Fuzz Pedal Friday, and I will see you then. I just said that twice. Weird. Anyway, moving along. Goodbye now, everybody. Have a great morning, afternoon, or good evening. I've already said that. I'll say it again. Ha! I know what's going on with my mind. Plectrum. Wee! Ha! Let's pull one. Oh. Calm down, Dave. You're going to have a problem. Anyway, moving along. Goodbye now, everybody. I can't end videos. Goodbye.